Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Zander, which this is a Zentangle original tangle coming from the folks at Zentangle. All right, this is a line or a border tangle, but it can also be used as a fill-in. So we're going to start this off with, figure out, well, you know what, let me just do this. So pretend we are, here is, we'll say that's your string line or your border, one or the other, whichever you prefer. All right. So we're going to draw a couple of, several pairs of, these would be backwards C's. And, however big or small you want to make them. All right, so backward C's, and I'm going across here. And I kind of do like to do this little hook thing. I think in my step outs it's more of just a curve line. It'll work either way. But just a little far apart here. And we'll do one more. my tile is moving, and so they're not turning out as great as I want them to, but that's okay. Now, next step is, and actually, luckily, I'm not thinking ahead. I happen to make these C's, centered on that string line, and that's the first line we're going to make, is kind of right down the center of your backwards C's. Now, one of the things that we like to do with Xander is we add a little bit of sparkle to it. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to have it like come, off the tile. And so I'm coming here, and I'm just going to make a little gap, and I'm putting a dot. And I'm taking the line right up to that C, but not here. And then we're going to continue it, and then you can, continue it and maybe add a couple dots. It's kind of one of those with the sparkle. It depends on how much space you have. And then here I'm just going to make that solid. Because it's kind of like you want to have enough room on both sides so that it makes sense to have a sparkle. All right, then we're going to work, either side. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go down. And I'm going to add, maybe just a couple sparkles. And sometimes, like if I have two here, I might just add one. You could also, add a little bit of a straight line, too. And so, essentially, I'm aura-ing these. And then, let's see. I think I only do, depending on how thick this is, you might want to do, like this one in the center and then maybe one on either side. That's going to be up to you on how far you want to continue that sparkle. Just depends on what's going to make sense for what you're doing. And then it's just, we're aura-ing these lines. To me, this tangle is so neat because it looks like a bundle of something. Now, here's my challenge has been, and let's see how I end up doing this, because I have a lot more room here. And I suppose I could just, kind of make it tight, and, let's just see what, well, no, I could probably fit at least one more here. There we go. Now, do I want to... All right, let's try turning the tile and seeing. I have the curve, my natural curve in here, so that's why I was hesitating on if I want to move it or not. Okay, I'll do another one here with a little sparkle. And I do like to have one continuous line. So instead of just, filling up this one and then filling up this section and filling up this section, I think it's a lot nicer to have it be a continuous thought. We'll say it that way. And I know I've shared that before with some other things that are like it. It's just so funny. So 2 things with the aura-ing. The reason I like to do it this way is so I can see the line that I'm aura-ing, but I feel like I'm fighting this natural curve that I drew. So it's kind of like you have to pick which which fight is better, because I can kind of see underneath the pen, but it feels much more natural drawing this way, because again, it's just, this is that natural curve that I put in there. Now, had I been really looking ahead at how small I made these here, I could have had these a little bit more separated, maybe. Could have. And you know, I'm gonna add one more. You know, could have had them you know, kind of narrowing down, say like that, something like that. And that's one way to combat you know, where you have different sizes like this. All right. Now, that's pretty much it. So let me share with you some shading thoughts. So because, you know, these are going in, and again, you know, we don't generally worry about you know, this string line that's going through. We don't worry about that. But I'm just going to put some graphite on just the one side of these backwards C's, and then we'll just smudge it out a little bit. And look at how neat that looks. It just, all of a sudden, it added some dimension. Now, I partly wonder, because so, you know, it seems like it's going in. Probably could, let's just see what it looks like. Add some over here, because it could be really cinching down on, you know, on whatever this is. Yep, and that's what it looks like it's doing, right? When you put that on the other side, right? So that is super neat. Now, if that pencil line really, really bothers you, you know, one thing that you could do is you could fill it in. That is, you know, something certainly. Let's see, what do I got here? Well, this is a, oh no, that's just brown. But you could fill it in. And what's nice about doing the backward C's and having this little bit of a gap is it gives that impression of it wrapping around. And it doesn't have to be this big, you know, because even this, like this one, I barely had one at all, and it still has that effect. But you could, and we'll go ahead and do that. And what I would do if I'm coloring these in is make the line, so we'll basically be, you know, getting rid of that one, but just where the end comes in. This is also, of course, for those that have been watching my videos or attending my classes, know that this is the premier course correction. When things go awry, we do the good old fill-in. You know, as I said, and I'm using the same color. I'm using actually a sepia. When it's kind of neat, you know, not having it necessarily solid. But, you know, making these bands, you can make them whatever color that you want to. But it's one of those, it's just kind of nice to see, what does that look like if it's filled in? And I'm trying to do it quickly with this number 1 here. And there we go. Like I said, that just, you know, it adds even a little bit more. It adds a little bit more, it adds more contrast. And that's one of the neat things to look for and to incorporate when you're tangling is, you know, if you have just like a bunch of lines, that to me is kind of light. But if you want to add some contrast, either with shading, but even more so with having, you know, some filled in sections. Now, if you want to use this as a fill in, then all you need to do is do another row of them. And let's see, I think I'm gonna add it here because maybe, just maybe, I might do something else. So, same idea. And I would alternate where these are, you know, and you're gonna end up with a little bit of a gap, sort of. But you know, actually, let me try this. Oh no, you know what? I better make sure my C's are going the same direction. So I'll put it here, and I'm gonna maybe make not so much of a gap. But I'm going to have them a little bit offset. And then this one will have this one just kind of go off. Yeah, we'll see how that looks. And then, okay, so now I'm doing this completely upside down from what I had been doing it. So, then, you know, and it's the same idea, except I forgot to put a little spark. Oh, I did this E, and, well, no, I can go back, though. This is what happens sometimes when I'm, let's just think outside the box. I started at the top generally, right? As I just did here, started in the center. And then we can add that sparkle in the center. And then we'll fill in backwards this way. There's always a way. Nothing is ever lost. And actually, this one I'm actually having my pen I'm holding it a little bit lighter, so you can see the pen, the thickness is a little bit less when I'm not pushing down so much. And fill that in. Just doing some solid ones. Say, and two, if you want to make them look a little overstuffed, you could, bow it out a little bit if you wanted to exaggerate that. All right, and then just filling in here where it looks like it will fit. And there we go. And then same idea. We'll fill this in. And we'll add a little shading. Now, when and I do have like a finished sample where I use these kind of stacked up. You want to add a little bit of graphite in the middle. And what that does, it almost then makes that disappear a little bit. So, this gap here, and actually, it looks like I can fit in another line right in there just to fill that out. All right. So again, we'll put some on either side because that worked out neat. And I want to be consistent with what I've already done here. But then two, just adding some graphite in the middle. Oh, let's see, let's do this first. Get it on the other side. Okay, and then down the center. Now I'm bringing the graphite in just a smidge on both of these, because then it's going to, yes, make it kind of curve. So if you do that, then I would also recommend a little bit of graphite, like say on this top edge. And if I was only doing this bottom, if I was only say going to do two, I would add that also. And not coming in too far. It also, again, depends on how thick these are, because you want to make sure to have a little of whatever the natural tile color is. You want to have that showing, so that way then you get the effect from the graphite. And see, then they look like bands. I'm thinking like straw or something is what I'm picturing. So here is, this is actually on a gray tile, and and that's what I did, is I stacked them up. Now this one I didn't do any, I didn't color in the bands, and I'm like, and I'm not seeing any string lines, and I think that's because my string line was up here. So what I did was I started my C's from the string line down, where this one I kind of started it in the middle. That's one of those, that's up to you. And then you don't have the string lines. You just, I was kind of hanging the backward C's off of that, my string line, which was right here. And then, of course, I added the graphite in between. I could probably go a little bit darker, but you can see how it makes it look like, bumpy. To me, what I was looking for was, oh, this could kind of look like a basket or something. This was in what I was jokingly calling my planter series, with a poke leaf here on top. So with that, I hope that has inspired you to give this tangle a try. In the description box, I will make sure to have the link to my step outs in there. And there's also ways to connect if you so desire. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed and want to be, would appreciate that also. And if you click the little bell thing, then you get notified of new videos. And if you know someone else that likes to do stuff like this, I'd be happy if you, and honored if you, share my videos. And so we can spread the Zentangle fun. So with that, I wish you a very happy tangling.